His argument for him because I too wish to oppose the motion of introduction of this bill on the following grounds, sir. The bill proposes alterations in the regulation of cooperative banks registered under the Cooperative Societies Act and impinges in the process on the federal structure of the state that has been prescribed by the Constitution, since it is beyond the legislative competence of this House to legislate on a subject that features on the state list, which is in the present case cooperative societies. Since federalism forms part of the basic structure propounded, the doctrine propounded by the Supreme Court, encroachment on the idea of federalism amounts to a violation of the basic structure doctrine as well. Equally, sir, I am sorry that the ordinance that this bill seeks to replace has been legally challenged and the matter is pending before the Honorable Madras High Court. Constitutional experts have argued that it's against propriety to legislate in sub judice matters, and you yourself, Honourable Speaker, have expressed the opinion that we should not even be discussing sub judice matters. Can we have one rule for us and one rule for the government, sir? And finally, sir, the selective ordinance-making powers provided under the Constitution have been abused by doing this without reference to a standing committee. Such a critical subject as regulation in the banking industry should have at least taken the views of members of the standing committee, and I would request the Minister to kindly withdraw this, offer it to the standing committee and then bring it back to the House with all these issues taken care of and the court matter settled. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Shashi Tharoor ji.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I do wish to oppose the introduction of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Regulation Bill on 6 grounds, sir. Very briefly, number one, the bill violates the right to equality provided under Article 14 of the Constitution, as it discriminates against unmarried couples and those belonging to the LGBT community by limiting access to assisted reproductive technology only to married heterosexual couples. Number two, stipulates an arbitrary restriction by only allowing ever married women who are mother to at least one child to be oocyte donors. Number three, it doesn't create adequate safeguards for the donor, remains silent on the health risks associated with participation in this process, and does not provide for any compensation in the case of mishap. 4, it promotes arbitrariness, sir, by permitting the central and state governments to issue directions to the entities established under the bill without placing an onus on the governments to specify reasons for the issuance of such directions. 5, it lacks proportionality while penalizing offences. For instance, the same punishment of a minimum of 8 years of imprisonment has been prescribed for serious offences as well as for any contravention of the bill's provisions or the rules made thereunder. And finally, sir, 6, the bill will give rise to inconsistencies on practices governing the subject because there is no synchronization in this bill between the provisions of this bill and that of the Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2019. For these reasons, I wish to oppose the motion of introduction for this bill. It is not ready for submission. I would urge the Minister to undertake a detailed discussion with experts, incorporate recommendations, look at the surrogacy bill that he himself passed here, and bring the new bill back to the House with necessary amendments. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.